Good morning, everyone. How are you folks enjoying the meeting? Yeah. Good, good. So this marks the 25th anniversary of NANOG. So 25 years ago, a collection of very bright, young, kind of hungry engineers got into a room and decided they were going to try to make the internet work across North America. And as a result, here we are. Their accomplishment has been amazing. I was speaking to one of our board members, and he was in one of the early meetings, and he said that at that time, there were about 60 people in a room. And if someone had blown up that room, the internet would have died in North America. And the way it's grown today, there's no way you could just take out the internet in North America. There are hundreds of thousands of engineers, and there are people within the industry that makes the United States and across the world an amazing place for information sharing across the world. About 30 years ago, I was in a conference, and there was a futurist who spoke. And he was talking about the challenges that we'd be facing in the future. And he said the biggest challenge that we would face is that the amount of information that we had. He said that in the 1600s, a well-educated man would have been able to read everything that was written within their lifetime. He also went to say that in one edition of the New York Times, it would be impossible for someone to consume it all in a singular day. He said the biggest challenge that we'll be facing humanity is the management of data and information. And he said the major careers that do not exist now will be designed and focused in managing that information. And here we are with the internet. And everyone in this room contributes in some way to that information flow, managing that data. So because of you, people throughout North America and the world have the privilege of having access to information in ways that we never could have imagined before. So I want to give a round of applause to everyone in the room and to all those people who helped make this happen. So as NANOG Executive Director, one of my mandates is that regarding to outreach. Where's my clicker? Oh, there, thank you. Was in regards to outreach. NANOG as an organization has grown over the years, and in the beginning, because it was small, it's finding its way, it was kind of insular. And so one of my goals is to start to reach out within the community. I think that for a healthy, thriving community, it has to be built upon diversity, inclusion, and acceptance. The more voices that we get into this room, the better for all of us. And as you look across the room, we have new people here, but there's a lot of people who've been around for a while. And it's my desire in outreach is to create an environment where new people want to come into NANOG, want to be a part of this community, and help to continue the growth of the internet within this country. I had the pleasure of talking to Vince Cerf once, and he was telling me, I asked him a question, what was the thing that just surprised him the most about the internet? What was the thing when they were putting it all together that they just never thought of? And he said, we never considered the commercial application. It never occurred to us. And I believe that there are applications of the internet, there are things that will happen in technology that we in this room cannot conceive of. But our children and those who come after us will conceive of those things and will continue to advance the internet. So one of the core things in our outreach is bringing people within the community, within the environment, where those new ideas will come in, where when we decide that we're gonna go on out to pasture, there'll be a whole group of young, innovative people who will continue the work that has made the internet the success it is today. So what is NANOG Outreach? Education is the core of NANOG's mission, and outreach programs reflect that mission. They are designed and taught by industry professionals and who are committed to the advancement of the internet in North America. What is our focus? Our outreach programs focus in three distinct areas. There is industry education for networking professionals, education, career development, and for colleges and graduate students, and training within underserved regions of North America. Now, most of us live here in large cities, and we have tremendous access within our communities. My home particularly, I think it's 300 down and 30 up. But then I have a house that's in a rural area where I get 10 down and I get 0.75 megabits up. Valerie gets, I think she said, about 3 down on a good day. But still, that's access. There are certain parts of North America that have little to no access at all. How many of you had the pleasure of being in Matt's talk regarding what's happening in the indigenous regions? Did you guys enjoy that talk? Okay, well, NANOG is going to be kind of supporting some of those efforts, which I'll be talking about in a minute. Our goal is to operate our outreach programs in the most strategic way possible. NANOG has a 501c3 designation as a nonprofit, and our focus is on education. Now, my personal beliefs about nonprofits is they exist in this realm between commercial entities and government entities. There are things that nonprofits can do that neither governments nor commercial entities can do. Commercial entities are designed to drive a profit. They have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to make a profit. There are certain things that are not within their bandwidth to do, certain things which are not profitable enterprises. Governments, on the other hand, are sometimes too large to be able to focus on certain small targeted goals. And that's where nonprofits come in. Nonprofits are about doing good for those communities that they serve. And our outreach programs are going to be focused on that. Again, as I said, we focused on our core missions within education. We're mindful of NANOG's resources. Unlike some organizations in our community, we don't have this automated flow of revenue that comes in. Our revenue comes in from support from our members and also from our sponsorship programs. We're going to focus on providing educational support to NOGs, industry organizations, universities, and underserved regions within North America. Our previous efforts, like NANOG on the Road, operations, we're going to try to focus those efforts, try to use our resources as best we can possible. We're looking to partner with entities in North America so that we can leverage those groups and to be able to offer more with less. In most cases, these organizations will provide the venues, marketing, and audience, and we will provide the educational support. So we've had a couple of encounters this year so far within our outreach, and I'll talk about a couple of those. The first thing we did is we offered support to the CRIBNOG. CRIBNOG is, of course, within North America. We do focus on North American entities that are English-speaking. Mexico is part of North America, but because of the language barriers, they tend to reflect with Latinic. So in CRIBNOG, there were experts, global stakeholders across Caribbean, United States, Canada, Cambridge and Bridgetown, Barbados, for a regional meeting. There was also, Aaron was there as well. I spoke, did the keynote, and talked about the role of NOGs within our communities. Also speaking was Sean Kennedy, volunteer and also board member, who presented on learning manners and best practices for migrating global routing threats. Steve Feldman, also a member and former chair of the PC, he spoke about the insights into the global DNS attack that recently happened. Eddie Winstead, also a NANOG member and a longtime volunteer, he spoke on, so you inherit a DNS server, best practices from day one. Day Harvey and I, Day puts on our meetings. So Day does, and her team, do an amazing job of delivering these meetings. When I first came on as executive director and I really got to peer into what all happened to make these meetings take place, I was amazed at the time the staff was 3 people, that Betty, Day, and Valerie we're able to put on these tremendous meetings with just that small core staff and the assistance of Hamilton Group. So Dave does an amazing job, and I'd like to thank Dave for all her work and effort, and Valerie and the team that put this together. So Dan and I went to RIPE to see what we can learn about the things that they do. We're trying to always make sure we're delivering the best to our attendees. So this was an opportunity to see how our neighbors across the pond manage their events. Now, RIPE is a little different than us. It's kind of an amalgamation of both NANOG and Aaron combined together. So we met with RIPE's training team. One of the things, again, education is our core. So RIPE has a training program that's been going on for quite a while, so I wanted to see how they do things that are different than what we do, and, well, you understand what I mean, and what we can do to collaborate with them in an effort to bolster our training and educational programs. We're not in competition with one another. We're all about doing what's the best for the internet as a whole. So I think that there's an opportunity to create synergy between our two organizations. So upcoming outreach meetings. So this fall, prior to going into our meeting in Austin, we're working to solidify a date to have an outreach meeting at Texas A&M. We will use this opportunity to build awareness around NANOGs as an organization for students, the wealth of tools, resources, and programs that are available at our triannual meeting. Excuse me. We're looking to provide students with we're looking to encourage them to participate in our NCI program, and we're looking to provide information regarding our career opportunities and industry challenges within our various organizations within our community. CRIBNOG 18. So we're also going to be going to CRIBNOG and offer a bit of an educational support to them as well to help bolster their efforts in the Caribbean. And the Indigenous Connectivity Summit in Hilo, Hawaii. So I know some are going to people say, oh, Hilo, Hawaii, boondoggle, why are we participating? Why are we a part of that? On the Big Island of Hawaii, there are areas, and even some of the smaller areas, where they do not have access. This is a problem. I mean, there's a problem in First Nations people up in Canada and tribal areas within the United States. There are areas that not only do they have not internet access, they don't even have power. And we can't build those networks. We can't fix this problem for them. But what we can do as an educational institution, we can help support their efforts, help bring up engineers who can help build out those networks and change those communities. We're not in the business of building networks. We're in the business of building the human network. And that's why you're all here, to learn, to grow, and to enhance your careers. And we're trying to give that opportunity to other people as well. So, the NANOG program. The NANOG program is fueled by people within this room and people within this community who have a deep passion about NANOG. They, in part from their daily responsibilities, step in and volunteer their time to assure that this program is informative, credible, and on the leading edge. I'd like everyone who's part of the program committee in this room to please just stand up for a moment. They're shy. I think the core of NANOG is the program committee. I believe that with the right program, we could hold it in a tent in a field with people in sleeping bags, and they would come. It's core to what we do. And I deeply appreciate and respect the efforts that the program committee puts into building this NANOG community, keeping people coming and participating within the organization. On average, our audience is broken about a third of people are new coming in, a third who are members, and then another community which, who aren't members, but who are part and participate in NANOG all the time. And our program committee keeps them coming and coming and coming. So again, thank you for your efforts. So as I mentioned again before, the program is the heart of NANOG. It's made up of industry professionals and is selected by the board. And within that the program committee self-organizes itself and then selects and promotes its own members, decides what committees are going to be inside of the organization, and they determine what this program is going to look like. The PC reviews and the selected talks submitted by the NANOG community to curate a program of the highest possible quality and relevance. In an effort to better serve our community, the PC has created some new subcommittees in an effort to better serve our community. Keynote speakers. I had asked the committee if they could try to focus on being a little more proactive in terms of reactive to our content. And thus, they've created a committee on keynote speakers. It's been quite successful. We've got several candidates for the upcoming meeting in Austin, and there's other meetings already where there's keynote speakers who are interested in contributing to our program. So the new subcommittees they've created, again, keynote speakers, women in tech, outreach programs, lightning talks, tutorial tracks, and also a hackathon. I believe that the hackathon is a key element of the NANOG program. It's been steadily growing, and I think that as it starts to grow and we better define it, I think it's going to be a key component of bringing new people into our organization and getting excited about what we're doing and help to promote the organization in a much more complete manner. These subcommittees allow the various types of expertise to focus on knowledge on specific areas of importance within the NANOG program. So, NANOG wants you. We want you to be a part of this. We want you to join, become members. We want you to participate in the program. So again, it's about building the future. It's about ensuring that NANOG will be around beyond ourselves. I'd like you all to face the challenge of getting involved on a broader scale. Participate in ways such as vote. Become a member. I work for you guys. I am here to serve your needs and to make this program, this organization, the best program it can be. But I need your support in making that happen. Membership is not about what little tchotchkes you get or what it can do for you. It's about turning around and what you can do for the community. So voting is critical, and to vote, you need to be a member. Membership fee is $100 a year for non-students, $50 a year for students. It's minuscule. Most of you could probably have taken out dinner for your family and spent more money than that. So it's a small thing, but it's a part of contributing and being part of our program. Mentor. As I mentioned before, that we have 1/3, in this particular conference, there are 250 new people that came to this conference. In addition, when you count all the students in there, there's another 50 that are students. So you're looking at about 300 people roaming throughout here who've never been to a NANOG meeting before. And for some of us who are more experienced, who've been around, it's a great opportunity to mentor. Susan is on our board and spoken in the Women Tech meeting. She talked about the significance and importance of mentorship and how it's great for any organization that participates in such programs. So here's an opportunity for you to give back, to mentor someone else, help guide their career, help shape the people of tomorrow so that they can make sure that everything continues, all your efforts don't go in vain. Teach. For about 15 years of my life, I had the privilege of teaching. I learned more from my students than they ever learned from me. Teaching is a way of not just giving back, it gives back to you. It takes your knowledge, it amplifies it. When you're teaching and someone asks you a question, sometimes it turns what you know upside down and makes you look at it in another way. Teaching is about you, it's about expanding your knowledge and sharing that knowledge with someone else. There are often things we do repetitively every day. We do it intuitively, but we do not understand the rationale behind what we do. You get in front of someone and you teach, they will demand that you give them the rationale of how you got to where you are. And in that, you understand what you do in a more significant manner. Present. We need presenters. We need people who can share their ideas, their concepts, submit your talks, submit your ideas. It helps you, again, as I mentioned before, it's a form of teaching. It makes you take and organize your thoughts in a cohesive manner, and it takes that information and it will enhance you. Get involved, present, make this community even better. Evaluate, serve on the program committee. It is, again, as I said, core to our organization, core what we do, and that program committee is the lifeblood of this organization. And sponsor. NANOG is an organization that exists upon the support of members and also our sponsors. Your efforts, those investments allow us to do other things, allow us to teach these people in the room, allow us to put on these conferences. Without that sponsorship dollars, it doesn't happen. Even for you attending here, the money that you spend for registration does not cover all the expenses that go to not just putting on the conference, but to just feeding you. Sponsors support those efforts. So I'll leave you with a quote from Robert Kennedy. The future does not belong to those who are content with today, apathetic toward comic problems and their fellow man alike, timid and fearful in the face of bold projects and new ideas. Rather, it will belong to those who can blend passion, reason, and courage in a personal commitment to their ideas. Thank you, and hopefully we're all working together for the Internet of tomorrow. So now I'd like to take an opportunity, again, this is a community meeting, community forum. If any of you have any questions for myself, for the board who are there, staff, we're happy to address any of those questions. Mics are open. If you have any questions, please step up. Comments, good or bad, we need to hear them. Nothing? Okay. So thank you for your time.